دي هي الأوضة أخيرا. طب لقينا الأوضة يا
This
جماعة.
is the first murder scene I've ever set foot in.
ازيكم؟ فيديو جديد من جيمنج بالعربي. في الفيديو الأخير من The Raven Remastered كان المفروض إن احنا نروح نفتش أو مش نفتش، يعني ندور على حاجة، على دليل جديد في الأوضة بتاعت الست اللي اتقتلت. بس لقيت نفسي وصلت في البوفيه وكسلت إن أنا أكمل الفيديو الصراحة، فقلت نكمل الفيديو ده. بما احنا هنا هنشوف الكابتن، ممكن نكلمه.
Captain DeConti is sitting at the bar again. He gave me the glass of champagne last night. Hello, Captain DeConti.
هو اللي ادانا الكوباية
You're back on your feet again.
ممكن يكون كان فيها المخدر.
What was your experience of last night?
Oh, terrible. Dinner was fantastic. Everyone was excited about having a pleasant drink under the stars. And then this.
You were in the saloon all night long.
As the captain, I have to care for my passengers. After you and the others rushed out, I tried to maintain a festive atmosphere. But when the alarm goes off, I lose the battle.
Did everyone drink from the same bottle of champagne last night?
There was more than one bottle, if that's what you mean. There were quite a few guests, and the event lasted several hours.
The last bottle of champagne, the one the Baroness drank from, did anyone else drink from it?
Certainly.
We have reason to believe that the champagne was drugged.
Incredible. But wouldn't that have made everyone drowsy?
Not if it was only the Baroness's glass that was drugged.
I see. That's possible. On a night like that, many glasses are filled and emptied. There are several stewards, many guests. No one keeps track of every glass and every bottle.
A few drops in a glass?
Yes, it's certainly possible.
How was the Baroness?
She really surprised me. After she was so unapproachable at the reception and didn't show her face for the entire afternoon, I was afraid she was one of the bores and bourgeoisie. But then she arrived in the early evening in the best of moods. Already had a few, if you know what I mean.
Did she say anything to you?
She asked me where Legrand's cabin was. I told her, then invited her to come for drinks in the evening. I said it would be great fun. The whole ship will be there, and you don't want to miss that, I told her.
And then?
She seemed to like the idea. She smiled and then left again for a few minutes. Then she came back and seemed very happy. We drank a toast to life.
The glass you handed me last night, where did you get it?
Ah, I understand. You think your glass was poisoned as well?
Did you pour it yourself?
No. I saw that you weren't doing so well and wanted to rescue the situation. I took the first available glass and I give it to you.
Was it on the table?
No, I hurry over to you, together with Dr. Gebhardt, who... Of course, he had the glass in his hand. He was looking around for a place to set it down so that he could examine you. I took it from him.
And gave it to me?
I'd like to apologize for that, but you look so worse for the wear, and I just wanted to comfort you. I didn't think of looking for a new glass for you.
So the doctor had the drugged glass in his hand. Is it possible to find out where the alarm was set off?
I'm afraid not. There are alarms all over the ship.
I saw that they're sealed. Can't we just check whether the seal is broken?
I'm afraid they're gonna be missing on a lot of alarms. You know, this is an old ship, and over the years...
So, you're saying that the alarms haven't been regularly maintained?
I'll inform the crew immediately, of course.
Of course. Earlier, you said that the Baroness was in a good mood and was clinking glasses with you. What happened afterwards? We met you outside the saloon.
She overdid it a bit. She suddenly started to swoon and almost spilt her drink. I asked her if she wanted to rest for a moment in her cabin. At first, she didn't want to. She definitely wanted to stay in the saloon. But then she realized that she really did need to lie down. We left together. You know the rest of the story.
What can you tell me about the passengers?
Oh, not that much, I'm afraid. I wanted to get to know them properly at the reception. In most cases, I just shook hands with them as they boarded the ship. There are a few regulars on board, and after dinner, I had a conversation with Mr. Kreutzer, a talented violinist, and Lady Westmacott. But you already know them from the train.
It seems like there aren't that many passengers on board.
These bloody airplanes are making our lives miserable. Can you imagine? Grown men prefer to jam themselves into a narrow metal coffins instead of enjoying the fresh sea air on a ship.
It's all about saving time.
It shouldn't be about how much time it takes to get from A to B, but about how you spend that time. What you experience on the journey, that's what it's about.
I'll get back to my investigations now.
Ciao, Constable.
تقريبا ما استفدناش اي حاجه.
Lady Westmacott seems to be an early bird, but maybe that's just because of all the excitement. I saw a twinkle in her eye on the train. She's eager to be part of a real detective story. Lady Westmacott, already on your oh.
Constable, don't you think before you speak?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean
ايه
to.
اللي حصل؟ انا مش فاهم.
No time for chit-chat. What have you found out?
We're still working on the case. Actually, I have a couple of questions for you.
Please, go ahead.
What did you think of our adventure on the train? An extraordinary story, isn't it?
I'm glad that you were able to prove yourself, Mr. Zellner.
Hopefully not for the last time.
I'm glad that everything ended well. I want to thank you sincerely for taking care of Matthew. I can't bear to think about something happening to him.
It all worked out in the end. Do you think that the thief from the train and the murderer are the same person?
I think the new Raven is capable of anything.
Legrand believes there is no new Raven. He thinks that the old one has returned.
He said that.
Do you think it's possible? Everyone thinks he's dead.
As a dramatist, the return of the Raven would certainly be delightful. A legend comes back from the grave for one last job. It's quite romantic. At the same time, though, I'd be disappointed.
Why is that?
I followed the Raven's career closely. There weren't many burglars with such character and charm. His burglaries were clever and entertaining, but he was sloppy in London. He almost got caught, and I'll never forgive him for the affair on the train. No, I would much rather that the Raven stayed dead and had nothing to do with the burglary or the murder.
What do you think? Who is our suspect?
Everyone. Or almost everyone. Everyone on board is physically capable of shooting someone, but who has the dark desire to take the life of a defenseless person?
One cannot read minds.
And one should not try. You have to collect evidence, traces, clues. That's what will lead us to the killer. It won't be like a bad crime novel, in which they introduce a new character shortly before the end who, surprise, surprise, is also the murderer.
Murderers leave evidence. They're nervous or unnaturally relaxed. They have to adjust constantly.
And because of that, they make mistakes. This is your chance, Constable. If you find the mistake, you'll find your murderer.
Have you noticed anything related to the murder?
Unfortunately not. I was already in my cabin and missed all the commotion. Damnable old age.
You're telling me.
Oh, you're still young. At my age, you have to expect that you won't experience much anymore. And although I've written about murder so many times, I've never actually witnessed one. How exciting.
I doubt everyone is so relaxed in such a situation.
Heartless is the word you're searching for, right, Constable? I certainly didn't want the Baroness to be murdered, but if I can't undo it, then I might as well enjoy it.
What do you think of Inspector Legrand?
He seems to be as skilled as everyone says. Intelligent, focused. I had a chat with him yesterday, and he impressed me, but there's something haunted in his eyes.
I don't think he ever really stopped hunting the Raven.
Catching the Raven made him famous. What if he actually shot the wrong person? Unjustified fame bothers people, the good ones at least.
And you think he's one of the good ones?
Anyone who tries so hard to tear down his own memorial must be honorable. Or insane.
I have to be going, Lady Westmacott.
Please keep me informed, Constable Zellner.
Of course.
اللعبة دي فيها لك كتير أوي. أنا عايز أروح أشوف الأوضة بتاعت الست يا جدعان. خلصونا. في حاجة تتعمل.
The alcoholic drinks and everything that goes with them is top-notch on this ship. Fresh ice and tongs. They could be useful.
Constable Zellner, what is the meaning of this? Are even the police light-fingered nowadays?
I need this tool for a criminal investigation.
Well then, why didn't you say so? But bring the tongs back when you're done. Otherwise, I'll have cold fingers all day.
ماشي، احنا هنطلع بقى نشوف الأوضة بتاعت الست اللي اتقتلت دي ونخلص بقى. اللي هنا.
I'd really like to lie in the sun, but I don't.
ماشي خلصت.
I suppose the life jackets are stowed there, close to the railing, close at hand in case of emergency.
أنا مش عارف فين الأوضة بتاعتها. أنا عمال أدور بس مش عارف فين الأوضة بتاعتها. تقريبا مش جوه. اللي هي جوه. مش هنا لا. أنا كنت تحت هنا، يبقى هنرجع هنا تاني. نطلع فوق بقى متهيألي. لأن هنا أكيد مفيش أوض، هتبقى فوق. انجز يا عم.
We were here yesterday when we heard the shot, and it was also here where Legrand caught our stowaway. The ship's bridge. 2 men, one of them navigating. I get the impression that the officers keep things running. It seems like the captain concentrates on the passengers and the bar. I better let the men do their work. If one of them had detected something yesterday, he'd already have informed Legrand or the captain.
مفيش حاجة نعملها هنا.
The grate must be part of the ship's ventilation system. Nothing out of the ordinary. The grate shouldn't be so easy to open. Did the stowaway open it and we caught him in the act? No. The pipe is too narrow. He wouldn't fit in there. I guess the cover has been defective for a while. I could inform the captain that the grid has to be repaired, but if I start reporting all the problems on the ship, I'd have to shelve my murder investigation.
مفيش حاجة تتعمل هنا.
Why is there an axe hanging here? I suppose it's for chopping through ropes in the event that the lifeboats can't be lowered. Or they use it to enforce who's allowed on the boat and who's not. There's dirt piled up in the corner. Down below where the passengers are, the ship is pretty clean. But the crew doesn't seem to care as much up here.
ماشي خلاص، هو لك ملوش لازمة. عايزين نوصل للأوضة بتاعتها. حد يوريني الأوضة بتاعتها فين.
It may not seem like it, but Constable Oliver is actually a very effective watchman.
What's going on?
The Raven just flew by.
What?
Or at least, he might as well have.
I wasn't asleep.
I understand. It was just a ruse. Any conclusions about our young stowaway?
He's a bit suspicious, foreign and whatnot.
I see. Did he act suspiciously in any way?
No. The shot surprised him as much as it did me. Looked in on him earlier. Still seems to be asleep.
Covered with a blanket from head to toe?
Ah, he's still in there. I poked him.
May I go downstairs and have a couple of words with our guest?
No, you may not.
Come again?
Inspector Legrand wants to conduct all the interrogations himself.
I'm sure he'll understand if I form my own conclusions.
He ordered me to guard the door, and that's just what I'm gonna do.
How about a bit of individual initiative?
How about letting a man do his job? Or do you think you'd be better at it?
What do you think? What happened here last night?
The Raven broke into the Baroness's cabin, she surprised him, and he shot her.
What was he looking for in her cabin?
She was a rich woman.
He didn't want to steal her purse. He wanted the third key.
So Legrand also told you about that?
Why did he lock the door?
Why not?
From inside? An impressive trick.
I'm not saying I know how he did it. I'm just saying that it was him.
Why didn't he leave a raven feather?
Are you serious? We'd have suspected him straight away.
But fortunately, we still did. Let's assume that the old Raven really has returned and that he really is responsible for all this. Who is he? Or she?
Oh, could be anyone. No one's ever seen the Raven.
He could also be paying someone else to do his dirty work.
Well, of course. It's a fact that he used to work with partners. They even arrested some of his accomplices.
But no one could ever identify the Raven himself. Some claims that they didn't even know that they were working for him. Fascinating. He could have hired someone with financial difficulties to set off the alarm at a certain time without that person knowing why they were doing it.
The man Legrand shot back then, he was a famous safecracker. He could just as well have been a henchman.
Or the real Raven. There's probably no better cover for a big thief than acting like a small one. I don't want to keep you from your duties any longer.
Good idea.
يا ريت بتلوك ركز يخرب بيت كده. يا جدعان فين الأوضة؟ عايزين الأوضة بتاعت الست.
I wonder if this game is an advanced version of bocce. Maybe the inventor realized that it's difficult to play ball games on a boat and came up with an alternative.
ما استفدتش أي حاجة، أنت بتلوك في هاري ملوش لازمة.
Salty sea air in my old... If I hadn't become a policeman...
خلاص بس برضه لك ملوش لازمة. ايه ده؟ دي هي الأوضة أخيرا؟ طب لقينا الأوضة يا
This
جماعة.
is the first murder scene I've ever set foot in.
أخيرا لقينا الأوضة، والله لفيت كتير جدا. حاجة أوفر يعني. في دم على السرير أول حاجة ملاحظها.
The notepad has the ship's emblem on it. I suppose all the first-class cabins have them.
ايه ده؟ أنا ملحقتش أعمل حاجة. اوكي هو أنا بشخبط حاليا بس تقريبا ده هيبين لنا حاجة يعني. في كلام مكتوب. حلو والله. Inspector be in the saloon at 10 p.m. There is a murderer on board and I will expose him. اوكي بتقول لجراند ان في حد قاتل على السفينة وهي هتقول له عليه.
Be in the saloon at 10 p.m. There is a murderer on board and I will expose him. B. The Baroness seems to have known the murderer, and that means that the Raven can't be the murderer. He never killed anybody. Legrand probably never got the message, otherwise he'd have said something.
يعني الست اللي اتقتلت كانت عارفة ان في حد هيقتل او مش هيقتلها، كانت عارفة ان في قاتل موجود على السفينة، وكانت عايزة تقول له لما قالت له ان نتقابلوا الساعة 10 في الصالون، لو خدتوا بالكم في الاول، مش فاكر الفيديو اللي فات تقريبا.
A tape recorder must go with the built-in speakers, probably part of the cabin's furnishings. The tape recorder is older than the hills, but it was once very expensive, top of the range, and it doesn't come cheap. There's still blood on the mattress. The sheet and the blanket have already been removed. To analyze them, I suppose.
هو شعره بقى ابيض امتى؟ ولا دي الاضاءة؟
Nothing. The blood spot is the only sign that someone committed a crime in here. Somehow... That's odd. The blood is so red. Shouldn't it gradually darken in the air? Turn brown?
أنا مستغرب إن الدم لونه أحمر قوي. المفروض
The unusual color of the blood could be something that Legrand and Dr. Gebhardt missed last night. All cats are gray in the dark, as the saying goes. I should take a sample. The unusual all
ماشي. المفروض أنا عايز أخد عينة بتاع ده للدم عشان هو شكك إن هو دم أصلا.
Apparently, the Baroness didn't have time to unpack her bags. Or rather, didn't have time to tell her butler to unpack them for her. Sifting through all that would take ages. But here, the Baroness's handbag. Ha-ha.
دي حاجة هنلاقي مكتوب فيها.
book. 1964 is engraved on it. This must be the Baroness's diary.
خدها طيب ولا نعمل حاجة.
Cosmetics, a handkerchief, a spectacles case. Nothing special. Let's see. Yes, it's a diary, all right. Difficult to read. No entry from yesterday. A brief, sober description of what she's done recently. Met Morris, arranged benefit concert for renovation of Louvre Southeastern Wing, Times photo shoot for Eye of Sphinx, BM, poor excuse for photographer, too fidgety, and so on. This entry looks strange. The handwriting is shaky, difficult to read. Dreamt of Bobby. Yesterday would have been his birthday. Next week, Jay's.
طبعا بقالي كتير ما فتحتش البتاعة دي. يا ده في حاجات كتير قوي. ماشي احنا اخر حاجة دي احنا ما قريناهاش. يعني انا برضو اقروا اللي انتوا عايزينه، انا هبقى اقرا، بعملوا بوز واقروهم، انا هقراهم وانا بعمل اديت. ده الكابتن بتاع المركب، الواد اللي اتقبض عليه، المسدس والدليل والكلام ده، الرصاصة، يعني ده كله دلوقتي ماشي. في حاجة تانية هنا تحت السرير.
Something's under there.
بننزل تبص. طيب خلصنا.
Down feathers, maybe from a quilt or a pillow. Nothing special. Although, it seems like one of the feathers was scorched at the top. Literally burnt. I'll take it with me.
تمام مفيش حاجة تانية؟
A big, ugly, and impractical vase. If it had a wider opening, one could at least use it as an umbrella stand.
يا جدعان الكلام ملوش لازمة ده.
Can't see anything.
اكسرها.
Wow, heavier than it looks.
ريش تاني؟
Ha-ha. More feathers, and they're singed as well. I'd better take it with me.
ده واضح ان هما ما فتشوش حاجة خالص وما لقوش اي حاجة خالص. مفيش حاجة تانية بصراحة. خلاص دي احنا شفناها. نبص عليها تاني.
The Baroness was a very busy woman, and it looks like she had to cope with loss. She writes about Bubby and Jay. Neither seem to be alive anymore. Almost every family lost loved ones in the war. Maybe hers as well.
نشيل لك برضه اللي ملوش لازمة ده. خلاص كده مفيش. نشوف الفازة تاني.
Why were the down feathers tossed in the vase? Or is there anything else in there? There may be something else in the vase, but the neck is too narrow to reach in with my hand.
يا عم اكسرها يا
There may
عم.
be something else in the...
خلاص ماشي جمعت ماشي.
Could work. There's something in there. Ah.
ايه ده بقى؟
Someone stuffed this in the vase. Looks like it's been used to muffle a gunshot. If this isn't an important discovery, I don't know what is. Legrand, here I come.
يا عم الجراند ده شكله حمار والله ما اعرفش اي حاجة. يعني هما المفروض دوروا يعني على الحاجات دي. ايه الجديد؟ حاجة جديدة اصلا. ماشي يا جماعة واحنا خلاص كده تقريبا. انا مش لاقي حاجة. لا استنى في
The
حاجة تانية.
mannequin surely came with the cabin. A mannequin for the Baroness's clothes would have a more generous figure.
خلاص كده انا مش لاقي حاجة تانية في الأوضة. لا
It
في
must be
alarm.
one of the alarms. It was tripped at some point. The seal is broken. But there's no way of telling whether it happened yesterday or 5 years ago. The most unportable portmanteau I've ever seen. A portable bar is more like it. Must be hard work transporting this big, heavy thing halfway around the globe. And the Baroness was lucky that the other freight cars were only lightly damaged by the explosion. An impressive piece, but I don't think it'll get me anywhere with the murder investigations.
ماشي قشطة خلاص. هو انا مش بصيت على البتاع ده قبل كده وقلت ان هو ملوش لازمة. هرجع ابص عليه تاني ليه؟
Strange. There's only one reel. And it's the wrong one. No sign of the original reel. A reel made by Zeibling. I know the brand. Zeibling's tapes can be overwritten many times without losing quality. They're used in offices so that executives can record messages for the secretaries on the same tape over and over again. But they're not good for much else. They're robust, but they don't offer much in terms of sound quality.
تمام، احنا كده فاضل متهيألي مفيش حاجة تانية في الأوضة. خلاص يعني انت بصينا عليه قبل كده، عامل نفس
The
الكلام.
unusual color
عامل
all
نفس الكلام. خلاص كده مفيش حاجة تانية متهيألي. لا في.
sunflowers by Van Gogh, I presume.
عم
Can't
خلص.
be an original. They cost thousands of.
أنا مش عارف ليه في لك ملوش لازمة والله في اللعبة.
The portholes face the side deck. If someone climbed out of the cabin through a porthole, Legrand and I would have seen them. The portholes are locked. One cannot open or close them from outside. It's the same problem as with the door. If someone left the cabin through the porthole, how did they lock it? And the Baroness wasn't shot from outside. The doctor said she was shot at close range.
ماشي يا جماعة، هنقفل الفيديو ده هنا. اعملوا لايك وشير وسبسكرايب، واشوفكم الفيديو الجاي.